何でしょうか。
何を置こうかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。何を置こうかな。どれにしようかな。何がいいかな。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。どうしようかな。開店するね。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。こんにちは。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。こんにちは。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。いらっしゃいませ。いくらにしようかな。ありがとうございました。売れたよ。行ってきます。 れ様でした。今日も頑張りましたね。明日もこの調子でいきましょう。さあ、仕事しますよ。今日も頑張っていこう。何がいいかな。何でしょうか。行ってきます。
师大腿第2届征文大赛开赛了，敢不敢来投个稿？
这个马在干什么？他在干什么？
さて、行きましょうか。よし、行きましょう。大丈夫？
捶你胸口，你好讨厌，要抱抱。
还玩吗？我要当小
我
黄。
要想绿。哎，我蹦起来了，你咋不蹦啊？
ちゃんとついてこいよ。咱撞着再换一个，这个不适合他，这得俩人一起过，咱俩没那个默契。
大丈夫ですか？
为什么有一个人一直在抛开？
失敗。次はもっといけ。
RPG.
We Malaysians have many.
So, in the previous tutorial, we created this NPC that talks to us, and that's all we did. But we never really fixed the original problem, which is, we have all these towns, buildings, mountains here, but how do we actually get inside these towns, or mountains, or buildings, or whatever? To do so, we're going to create a new map, and teach how to transfer the player to that new map. So before we actually do anything, we actually gotta first create a new map. So to do so, go down to your game title right here, right click on it, and hit new. And this will bring up like a new menu creator thingy. So we can make the name Town 1. And that's it. And we'll go to OK, and the map will be created. But let's say we don't want these settings and we want to change the map settings. All you have to do is go back to our Town 1, hit space when it's highlighted, and it'll bring up the settings again. So let's make it so the tile set is outside as opposed to overworld. Our previous map had the overworld tile set, which means it had all like the small towns, the mountains, and it just basically be a map that the player used to travel long distances. On the other hand, the outside or inside tile sets will be for like general locations that are more local. So the outside would be for like a local map that you're currently inside of, like the town we're going to be creating, and so we're going to be using that. Let's also make it so the width is something like 30. Let's make it so the height is about 20, just to make it more space. And finally, we also want to create a display name. Now this can be a name that's going to be displayed in the top left when the player enters the map. So we'll call this Town Ruby. Oh, whoa, there we go. And so we'll hit OK, and our town will expand, get bigger, and as you can see in the left, we have a different tile set available to be used for our tiles. So I'm going to go quickly create a map. One final thing is that if you hold control and scroll backwards, you have to zoom out for your tile creation. Or you can just push these plus and minus magnifying glasses on the top right here to zoom in or zoom out. Anyway, speed up, activate. And our map is pretty much done. So now let's actually make it so the player can get to this map by doing something in this map. So let's zoom back into this part right here. Let's go into our event creation mode and let's double click on top of the map. And now we're going to create a new type of event. So first thing we have to do is set the priority to below characters. And this means the player has to be standing on top of the event before it activates. Next, let's set it so the trigger is player touch. This means the player is going to walk on top of this event. When he's done and he's standing on top of the event, then it's going to transfer him to wherever he needs to go. On the other hand, if you did action button, this would mean the player has to be standing on top of it, then click enter or Z to actually make the event run. So in this example, we're actually going to be using player touch. So now we're going to go to our content, we're going to go inside, go to the second tab, go to the first one right here, which is called transfer player, click on this. Now we're going to select where the player is going to be transferred. So click this right here, and now we're going to get a list of all of our maps, just 2 right now. So we're going to click on Town 1, we're going to click on this new entrance spot right here. Then we're going to set the direction to left, since we want the player to be looking left when the transfer is done. We'll set the fade to black, though you can also use white, or you could remove it completely, though black is a good standard way to do it. So we'll hit OK, and this event is actually done. We do not need an image because we want this to be invisible and see the player just click on it or walk on it without actually having to know that there's anything going on. So let's go ahead and hit the OK. Now let's copy the event. We'll right click, we'll hit copy. Now just go up to one of these other tiles and hit paste, and paste it on top of all of the town. So we can also do Control V to just paste it faster. And now when the player walks on top of any part of this town, it'll transfer them to the Town 1 map. So now in the Town 1 map, let's actually go to this tile right here. Let's double click on it. Let's also create another transfer event moving back. So once again, we'll do the trigger, player touch, we'll go to the contents, we'll go to the second tab, transfer player, go choose a place. We'll choose map 001. We'll choose this spot right here. We'll make it so they're looking down. And then we'll fade to black. We'll hit OK. We'll hit OK. We'll save. And now we'll run our game to test it out. So now here we are inside of our game. We're walking around and we want to go into this map. So all we gotta do is walk on top of it and we go transferred into the map. So now we're in Town Ruby, and as you can see, we're actually inside the map we created. Now let's go back outside by just walking back to this spot right here, and it transfers us back to the overworld. And that's all you need to do. But let's try one final thing. Now, if you're in event mode, if you right click on a tab by right clicking on it like so, we can go to quick event creation and actually create a transfer event for us. It'll ask us to select a location, so we can select one of the locations, we can select a direction, so we can select the direction, and when we hit OK, it'll actually let us create our own quick event. And as you can see, it's pretty much identical to what we created. The only difference is they have this play sound effect for move 1. And this makes it so that there's a sound effect that it plays when we transfer through the event. So let's actually take this and add it into our own transfer event. So let's right click on it, hit copy, and now we can actually go to this event and we can just delete it entirely. So we'll right click and hit delete. Now go back to our own event. We will right click right here and we'll hit paste, and it'll paste it on top of this event right here. So now finally we can delete these other 3 events. So delete, delete, delete. Now we can copy and paste this new one on top of all these, and I did so just by hitting Control C and Control V as a quick thing to do it. Now we'll have a sound effect that plays during our transfer. So that's all we can do for that situation. But say we're in our game and we want to go somewhere that we can't really walk on top of, like these mountains right here. As you can see, if we push into them, we can't really walk on top of them. So even if we did use one of those events, they'd actually not activate because we aren't walking on top of them. So all we'd really have to do is actually do something similar to what we did for these events, only we combine it with what we learned from the NPC. So if we paste one of these events here, we can go into it and go to the priority and the trigger. So let's set the priority to the same as characters, and this will make it so that if the player pushes against it, they can actually activate the event without really having to step on top of it to do the player touch trigger. Alternatively, we can set this to action button, and this would be the same as our NPC, which means we just have to be looking towards it, push the action button, and the event will activate. So if we paste this event all over our mountains right here, and realistically probably just put it on one side, but if we want to make it so that mountains can be activated from all sides, we'd simply do that. Now run our game again. Now when we go to our mountains, we can walk into them, and if we push the enter button, it'll transfer us to our town, because we didn't really make a mountain map. But you get the point, and that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe, leave a comment on what you want to see a new beginner's tutorial. Until next time, RPG Maker tutorial out.
Kita bersama dengan Tia Arifin Murtia Gaus, Diana Nasir, Nurul Zulkifli, Putri Sarah Lianat, Nat Zainal, Erin Malik, Bella Astilat, Black dan juga Mira Zaini.
Lactogro memahami rasa ceria bermula dari hati sejak awal lagi. Lactogro, grow happy.
Jangan lupa menonton celoteh si manja bersama Lactogro tiap Sabtu hanya di TV3.
So we have our town here, and it's a beautiful looking town, I guess. The problem is there are no people in here, but we know how to solve that situation, because if we go back to our original map, we'll find, yeah, we know how to create an NPC to just stand right there, and just standing right there, not really doing anything at all. In fact, how do we make an NPC like this one move around? It doesn't have to be in a specific pattern, or perhaps you want to like run around circles for an extended period of time. And in today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to do that. So let's go to our Town 1 map, and let's just get straight into it. So to start off, let's review how you create an NPC. We create an event, we set an image, we'll set to any random image like this person right here, we'll make sure the priority is the same as characters, their trigger is the action button, and we'll give them some dialogue to say. So we'll go to tab 1, show text, this is a dialogue. There we go. And now we have our NPC. But now, how do we make this guy move? And the answer is this little square place right here called the autonomous movement. And here, we can set it so our event is moving around. So if you may notice, it's set to fixed right now, which means it's going to be standing in a fixed position. But we have 3 other choices: random, approach, and custom. Now random, you could probably guess, he's going to move in a random direction. Approach, that means he's going to approach the player. And custom means we're going to set up our own custom movement route. So to start off, let's focus on random. Now, as you can guess, he's going to move a random position or a random direction every certain amount of whatever. So to determine how fast and how often he's going to move, we're going to use the speed and the frequency things down here. Now speed, this is going to be how fast he moves from one tile to the other tile. So as you may notice on our map right here, we have all these things separated into tiles like this. And if you may have noticed, when playing your game, your player and all the NPCs and basically everything sticks to a certain tile. So this guy is going to move to this tile maybe, then maybe this tile next time, then maybe this one. Now, if you set it so your speed is say like super fast, number 6, very 4 times X fast, that means he's going to like zoom in to each tile. He's going to be pretty much teleporting from one tile to the next tile. He's not going to be doing it very often, but he's going to be doing it when he does do it very fast. So if we set it something like slower or the slowest possible, that means he's going to move like very slow from one tile to the next. And like with normal, it's going to be more like a natural movement. And like I said, the faster is going to be the instantaneous, super fast, super crazy tile movement. So for this example, since we have a random movement type, let's set it so it's about a little slower, since we want to make it so this an NPC appears just like wandering around, not really doing anything, so he's moving sort of slower. Now comes a frequency, which as you can probably guess, this is how frequent they will move from tile to tile. So if we have it on, say, the highest, this means they'll be constantly moving. They'll move to one tile, the next, and the next, and just keep moving on and on and on. On the other hand, if we have something like normal, this means we're going to go to a tile, wait like, I don't know, a certain like tile, wait, wait, just like that. Now, if they had something like lowest or the lowest frequency, it'd be tile, wait a good period of time, then next tile, wait a good period of time again, then another movement. And so it's going to be a very low frequency in which they move. So don't get these two confused. Remember, speed is going to be how fast they move from one tile to the next, and frequency is going to be how often they do move from one tile to the next. So, well, like I said, we have this random guy who just appears to be wandering around. So let's set him to have a pretty slow speed and a pretty slow frequency. Now let's go test him out in our game by going to our town map. So let's go enter in our town right here. And when we come out, we will find our guy right over here. And as you can see, he's just wandering around. He's moving low. He just saw him move down. He moved down again. Maybe he's going to move left or right this time. Hopefully he will. Another bad thing you might want to keep in mind is that when you do have a random movement person, they probably want to be in a more open area. If you make them in a very enclosed area, that means they're not going to have very many options to move around, and thus is going to either force them to go somewhere else or make it appear they're not moving at all, since they will just be stuck in a certain position. So that's all for this type. Let's go into the next type of movement we can create. So the next type is going to be the approach type. And for the most part, you won't really use this for any typical NPC, but you may use this in the future events that we'll go over later. But for the time being, approach is going to be an event that makes it so the NPC approaches a player. Now, whenever you do use this, I would recommend using the highest frequency. So that means they're going to be constantly moving, and if you want to follow the player, or maybe it's an enemy that's trying to attack the player, you want to be moving as fast as possible, or at least moving as frequently as possible. Now, for the speed itself, it depends on the NPC. We'll set it to normal for now, and let's go test out how this looks in our game. So once again, let's go into our I meant to say enter into our beautiful town, but here we have it. Our NPC is going a little crazy, but here he is. He's coming after us, sort of, anyway. It's not the most precise following procedure thingy they go through, but as you can see, they are indeed trying to catch up to us. So let's run around over here. Oh, they're coming over here. Let's go. Oh, we're trapped. We're trapped. They have us. No! And finally comes the probably easiest to use, which is a custom. Now this is going to let you use this route button right here, and this is going to let you set a custom route for your NPC. So let's go click on this route button, and it's going to bring up this huge, weird, awesome looking movement controls thingy. Now you can think of this as sort of like the events, in which you're going to click on one of these buttons, he's going to add it to the list, then he's going to go through each event of the list, and then do all of it. So if we say did move down, move right, move up, move left, that'd be sort of like a circle. So down, right, up, left. If you look down here, we have the options, which are going to be repeat movements, which of course this means once they get to the bottom of the list, they'll go straight back up to the top of the list. We may also want to use skip if cannot move, which means if they get into like a situation where they hit a wall where they can't move because of bad planning or whatever, it's just going to skip that movement. Otherwise, if they do get stuck and you have this unclicked, that means they're going to be just stuck there until they can move, and if they can't ever move, then they're stuck there forever. So just for safety precautions, you might want to keep this checked. Now the final check is faded out for different purposes we'll learn about later, and we also have all these other things. Now a lot of these are going to be very, very complex. We'll learn about them later, but for the time being, you may want to focus on move down, move left, move right, move up, move left, right for these diagonal ones, move at random, move towards player, turn down to like turn left, turn right, just turn in a certain direction. And if you really get complex about it, you can, but we won't. So we're gonna hit OK, we're gonna hit OK, we're gonna make sure his path is clear. So like, remember we did down, down, right, right, up, up, left, left, and it looks like perfect to me. He's gonna do a big circle around these rocks. So let's test it out by playing our game. So finally, let's go back into our very amazing town. Let's go to this guy and look at him go. He's running around the rocks like we told him to. So he's just going in one big circle, down, down, right, right, up, up, left, left, down, down, right, right, up, up, left, left. If you recall, his frequency is still on the highest form, so that means he's constantly moving, and he has a normal speed, so he's moving at a pretty decent speed. Not too fast, but not too slow. And if we want to talk to him, we just get in his path and say, hey, yeah, remember? He is skip if cannot move, so if we try and get in front of him, he's just gonna keep moving. This is gonna be a little hard, but I gotcha. Oh, he's getting away. No, gaha. This is a dialogue. We got him, and then he's gonna just start running in a circle some more. So yeah, now let's go over one final thing. So lastly, we have these couple things right here which are called the options. Now pretty much, let's explain what they do. This check mark makes it so they have their walking animation while they're actually walking. So if you may notice, a couple of these characters have these walking animation frames that you can use. If you unchecked this, that will mean he'll just look like this the entire time he's moving. And you may want that if you want to disable the animation for whatever reason. Maybe they're got, I don't know, they got captured and they can't move out of the thing they're captured in. Or perhaps they got, like, I don't know, I had an example but I forgot it. Anyway, for the most part, if you have a human or moving NPC, then I'd suggest clicking this on. But next comes the stepping option. Now this means they're gonna have the stepping animation when they're not moving. So if you click this, that means if they're standing still, they have the stepping animation. So you can think of it as sort of the opposite of the walking animation. Walking, this is for having animation when you're actually walking. Stepping is for having animation when you're standing still. You also have the directional fix, which means they won't really change their direction while they're moving around. So if we click this, that means he'll always be looking downward throughout his entire movement cycle. And finally we have through, which means they can move through objects pretty much. And if you have that checked, that means they'll move through walls, move through anything, and nothing can stop them. So that's all for this video. What do you want to see in a future tutorial? If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, please be sure to subscribe, please be sure to comment below what you liked and what you want to see happen. Until next time, RPG Maker tutorial. Yeah, this guy, he's pretty weird. Bye.
Anda mungkin tak sedar, setiap sisi kehidupan anda, kami ada bersama. Meningkatkan kekayaan negara dengan penuh amanah. Daripada syarikat kepada masyarakat, sektor kewangan ke kaunter perkhidmatan, dari ladang ke meja makan, perbandaran ke rumah impian, jentera teguh ke lebuh raya kukuh, perlindungan perniagaan yang menjamin kehidupan dan hasil ujian menjadi barang keperluan. Dengan warisan negara, kami bina masa depan bertaraf dunia. Tiap keuntungan yang dikongsi, tiap bakat yang diasah, tiap senyuman buat pelanggan, membina kekayaan anda, membina kekayaan rakyat Malaysia. Kami, Permodalan Nasional Berhad.
Alright, here we are back in town, Ruby. Hello, you random person. I see this guy still doing his cool little thing. That's awesome, all. And hey, hello, man. How are you doing? We need doors. We need doors. So like, I think we need doors. So like to start off, I guess we should first create an actual room to be used as the inside of one of these buildings. So let's get straight into that. So if you recall, when we create a new map, we go up here and we click New Map. But we're not going to do that this time. Instead, we're going to do something else. We're going to go to one of these maps right here. We're going to right click on it, and we can still do New Map. So let's do it. And let's create a new map from on top of the Town 1 map. Let's name it Town 1 Room 1 for whatever reason, and we will hit OK. And now, when we do that, we'll find that, hey, this map is sort of underneath our Town 1 map, and we can actually close and expand it using a plus and minus sign right there. So, this is happening because each map in our little map editor section right here can actually function as a folder. So it's not only a map, it's a folder map! Yay! So that's how it pretty much works. So I would recommend, whenever you create like a town, or maybe a dungeon, you'd probably want to make one map, the base map, then all the succeeding maps, such as rooms, doors, second floors, etc., are all sub-maps stored within the main map. So you can make your map little thing organized. Because you know, when you actually create a real game, it's going to easily have up to maybe 60, 70, or maybe even 100 maps. And you're going to want to have some way to keep things organized, even if you are only pretending. So, do so, you will make these little folders. And for this example, we'll be putting all of the town house rooms inside our Town 1 map folder thingy. So, let's click on our Town 1 Room 1, and let us just simply create a really quick map. So, I forgot to also go back in here. Let's set it so the tile set is going to be inside. So, it's going to be doing the inside of a house. We'll hit OK. We'll click on one of these random inside tile sets, select the ceiling, we'll just surround the entire thing real quickly, and then we'll do like the ground with like this tile set, we'll do a little boop, and then we'll do a little exit part right here. And we'll just call that our little thing for now. We'll also make a wall at the side, so yay! It's gonna be a really quick, simple little house room thingy. So, let's make a door that goes into our room right here. So let's go back to Town 1, and what we're going to do is we're going to go into event mode. We're going to make a door for, say, this house right here. And once again, the door is going to be just a simple quick event. So right click, quick event creation, and the door. So we'll get to choose a door image. We'll have a whole list of all these door images. So door 1 or door 2 is our files. Just stick with door 1, select one of these doors, say this door right here. Choose a location it's going to put us to, so we're going to be put into Town 1, Room 1 on this tile right here. We're going to hit OK, and it will be perfect to go. So finally, let's go to Town 1, Room 1. Let's go here. Let's right click and create another quick event creation. Go to transfer. This time we'll transfer it back to outside. So right here, we'll be looking downward, and we'll hit OK. Now, let's actually go and test out our door. And so, let's go down here, and we'll find our door perfectly positioned right here. Let's go inside, and we'll find, hey, we're in our room now. And now we can go back outside, simply walking this little space, and yay, we're back outside. And yeah, it's actually that simple. Now, here's a few tips for creating doors. As you may notice in the tutorial in which I actually created this map, I added all these like black spaces right here. You can find these in the section B, and you gotta find them right here. So like this one, this one, this one, this one, and you want to choose one that corresponds to the type of door you're using. So if we use this rounder one, as you see right here, we could say put this right here instead of that thing. So, boop, that is not going away. I'm doing something wrong. What is going on? Please help me. Okay, there we go. Boom. And then we can go and create one of the rounder doors. So, quick event creation. Door. And we'll choose the round one this time, like this. Hit OK, because we don't care. And it's done. So, that's what you want to do for that. Also, what you want to keep in mind is that if you want to make, say, a door that you can open by pushing an action key instead of just touching it, you click action button. Yay! If you want to make a door that actually makes it so that when you transfer, you look in a certain direction, we just go into the bottom transfer event, select the direction to down, left, up, right, whatever you wish. Click on that. We can customize our fade by clicking that, and we are good to go. And that's really all there is for making doors. And that's really all you really need to do for making a town. Just set up all the doors, set up all the NPCs, create all the rooms, make them more detailed than this. You should be able to figure it out, don't worry. And that's all for this tutorial. RPG Maker tutorial ends.
Kita bersama dengan Tia, Arifin, Fozia Gaus, Diana Nasir, Nurul Zulkifli, Putri Sarah Lianat, Nat Zainal, Erin Malik, Bella Astilat, Black dan juga Amira Zaini.
Lactogro memahami, membesar ceria bermula dari hati. Sejak awal lagi, Lactogro, grow happy.
Jangan lupa menonton celoteh si manja bersama Lactogro. Tiap Sabtu hanya di TV3.
So here we have it, our original first NPC. And if we go in here, we'll find that, hey, here's our image. And if you recall correctly, we can go through all these images and we can select whatever person we want to use for our NPC. Furthermore, if we go to this text right here and go to our face image, we also have an assortment of faces we can use. But all of these are the default faces. And what if you want to create your own custom face? And judging by the title of this video, you already know, this video is about the character generator, which you can access by going to this little icon right here and clicking on it. Once we do so, we brought up to this huge assortment of all these different pieces and things you can do inside the character generator. Right here is a face, right here is a overworld generator sprite thingy, and here's a side view battler stuff. And so, using this, you can generate your own face. It's very simple. Choose a section or thing you want to manipulate, click on the icon or thingy you wish to use. You can even select a color. Keep in mind that some colors are over global for multiple different pieces. For example, the front hair and the rear hair share the same hair color. Of course, the rear hair also has a subcolor you can use. Furthermore, you also have stuff like the eyebrows, which are going to share the hair color, etc., etc. And so, as I'm talking about this, I'm probably speeding up the video while I create my own character. So, let's, as you can see, it's happening. Yeah. And once you're done creating your amazing character, all you have to do is click on these 4 buttons right here to export each piece of the character. So we go to face image, we click export, we can export our face to something like my face. We'll hit save, and it'll be good to go. Next we can go to walk character, we can once again export and go to my character, as you see right here, and once again, save the file. Then we'll hit close, we can go to Battler, we can save our Battler by going to export, and guess what? My Battler. And that's really all you have to do. But here's a thing you might want to figure out. As you may have noticed, when we actually exported this face image, we had all these blank spots. If we go outside here, we can find that, hey, our exported image only has 1 person right here, but all these other ones had like filled with 8 people. So how can we make it so we have multiple faces on a single image? And the answer is, we can actually do something called import, which you're going to have us import one of our things, then it could be have right there along with our new face. Then when we export it again, it'll export these 2 faces on top, like so. So now that we've done that, as you can see, our new file has both faces on top of it. So using this, you have multiple choices. You can make multiple characters on a single file, or alternatively, you can also give your same character multiple expressions by changing your, say, eyebrows, something like this, changing their mouth to something like this, and that can give them a completely different expression for the face image, in which you can use later in dialogues. Now, like I said before, you can also use it for different characters. But what if you want to switch your character, but don't want to lose all the stuff you did for this character right here? And the answer is, you can actually save your character settings by going to Save Settings, and this will just open up a thing that allows you to save your settings. Now, I would recommend not just putting them all right here on like the basic area where our game files are. Instead, go right-click, create new folder, as you see right here, go to New, go to Folder, and create a thing called Generator Stuff. And here you can input all the generator saves we want. So we go in here, we can name our my person, and we'll save it as a .json file. And when we do so, even if we close out of here and lose everything, if we go back, we have to use the load character settings right here to load the character, go to my person.json, and it loads everything perfectly for the male, or we can go into female and do load settings and load the female right here. As you see, it worked perfectly. So, if you did want to have multiple people on the same file, all you do is create another person. I'll do so using randomize. Or we can do face image, import. We'll import the old face images. We'll export the new one with the guy on top of it. Once again, save over the same file, so it overwrites it. Do the same thing with the walk character. We'll import. We'll select our original walk character, which you can find right here. We'll export it with them side by side like that. Save it under the same file name. It'll ask us to overplace, and we'll say yep. And then we do, now the Battler, it takes the entire file, so it can't really share the same file. You just have to export it as a new thing. So my Battler 2, and we'll save it as that. Now, if we want our NPC to look like our custom character, very simple. Go to our NPC's image, go find our file, which is my character, select on the one we want to use for this one, for example. Then, for all the dialogues, we have to change your face, which is going to be a little bit more tedious to do, but if you want to make sure you don't have to do this, make sure you use all your character generators from the beginning, and then have them used as your faces later on. So, as you can see here, we can input all of our face for our new character, and that's good to go. Now, the final thing is, Okay, cool. We made it so our NPC is a customized character, but now how do we customize what we really want to customize, which is the player character right here? And the answer is, we're going to go into the legendary database, which you're going to click right there. When you first pull up your database, you're going to find this section called the actors, and these are going to be the characters that you play around with on the screen. Now, as you can probably tell, we're going to do something very simple. We're going to select the face place, and we're going to choose this face to be the face of the person we want to use. Choose the character place, and we're going to replace it with the character we wish to use by going right here. And finally for the battler, as you can probably guess, we're going to go find our battler and use it as this character's battler. And of course, while you're at it, go and change the name of your actor to whatever name you want to give this person. For example, I'll name this person... That's our person's name. Now, you can also give him a nickname, and we also have the class, the profile, the initial and max level, and all the initial equipment. We'll get into this later, but for the time being, all you need to know is that you can manipulate what your party members look like by doing this, and going through and switching it for all of these. And that's really all there is to this video. Now let's go test out and see how our game looks now. And as you can see, now we have our new character, which is going to be our main leader of the party. If we go into our menu, we'll find them just listed right here at the top, along with their name. And if we go to our NPC right here, we'll find that, hey, our NPC also is now an NPC that works and stuff. And yeah, that's really all for this video. Until next time, RPG Maker tutorial ends.
Aku memang buta. Namun aku terokai dunia dengan bunyi. Aku tidak buta. Aku adalah muzikku.
We want a more inclusive Malaysia. A place where our expression for choices are not judged, but accepted. Through our art, we want to inspire that change.
我们想要看到的是改变。我们相信健康意识能提升平民的生活。
நாங்கள் கொண்டு வருகின்ற மாற்றத்தின் மூலமாக மற்றவர்களும் இதே போன்ற மாற்றத்தை கொண்டு வரலாம்.
Walaupun bisu, saya percaya kebaikan adalah suara yang kita fahami. Melihat dunia tersenyum adalah kebahagiaan kerana perubahan bermula dari sekecil kebaikan.
Tiga ilu peternak ngan ngembangan kemat anak bayang. Nangadet ku unilu. Apa nak det lu petem pabe lisa pabe bayak.
Being of mixed heritage, I understand just how different.
And don't worry about your volume, it's not turned on. I just wanted a moment of silence for our default title screen, because today we'll be fixing this. So let's get straight into it. Step 1, go to our gear database thingy right here by clicking that button. Step 2, go down to the system tab. It's a third from the bottom, right there. Now we're gonna manipulate some stuff to make our game look better. Now if you recall, in the very first episode, I said, call your game title whatever you want it to be. Just call this gibberish right here because you can change it later. And in this episode, we're changing it. We're gonna call this The Greatest RPG of all time. And that is how you change the game title. That's simple, that easy, that's all we're doing. So that's the first thing we're gonna change from our default title screen. Second thing is we're gonna use this little box right here called title screen to change the images on the title screen. So we can go through, select whatever foreground image or background image and a foreground image if we choose to do so. And so we'll choose a volcano and we'll choose a medieval frame. And we'll hit OK, and now that's what our title screen is gonna be. Furthermore, you can also choose to draw or not draw the game title. And this would be, for example, if you made your own custom background that already had the game title drawn on it, or you just don't want the game title drawn there for whatever reason. But we'll have our game title drawn. Finally, the thing we're going to change is the window color. For your game, you can customize the window color to be whatever you like. So let's make it green, light teal greenish, whatever. That's a blue, actually. What was I saying? Anyway, hit OK, and your color and everything is done. So let's go test it out. Voila! Our title screen is now different than before, and so now it's more better than the other one. Yeah! And since that was such a short tutorial, let's also add a couple more stuffs. Let's learn how to customize how the player will look like, where they will be, and all the other stuff when they spawn in the beginning of the game. So number one, right here, this is the initial starting party. Now if you recall, in the previous tutorial, we talked about manipulating the actors. And as you can see here, we have a list of all these actors that you can manipulate. If you wanted more, we change the maximum, set it to a higher number, then we got more slots, add more actors. But besides that, these are all the players pretty much. And if you go to our system, we'll find that right here, we have a starting party section right here, which you can input the starting party in the game. So if we delete the last three of these, that means the only character we start with is which means we'd only have one person in our party. Next thing we can manipulate is their spawning position. Now, while you could just set it in that little tab section right there, an easier way to do this is to go to event mode, right click on a tile, like so, go to set starting position, and go to player. And we've just set the player's spawn point to that point. So you can do this at any time, anywhere. We can even set it to be inside this room that we made still blank because I'm too lazy to actually put stuff in it. Yeah! And the final basic thing to look at is pretty much the music. Now, you have probably been listening to music. I don't have the volume turned on these tutorials, but these are the things that you listen to. And RPG Maker MV, of course, has a little small list of all these default music being used. And if you look right here, these first two are actually the music for the title and the battle we'll get into later. So if you want to manipulate what music is played on the title, we'd select field, castle, battle, whatever, and hit OK. And furthermore, you can also manipulate how it sounds with the volume, the pitch, and the pan. Pan is going to sound if it's more like on your left side or right side of your ear if you're using stereotype sound. Pitch is of course going to change the pitch, which is going to make it sound higher or lower. And of course volume is going to manipulate how hard or easy it is to hear. Be careful with all these stuff, they can get pretty weird if you mess with them. But anyway, we hit OK, we're done with that. And for the most part, that's really all there is for this tutorial. Just manipulate the title screen, manipulate where your player spawns. Very simple, very basic, but it's something you need to learn. So let's test out our game and just see what we have done. So we've created a custom title screen. If we go into our game, we'll find that we start inside this room. We only have one person in our party, if we see here, or if we go into our menu screen and see that we only have one person. And wow, that window color doesn't look great. But whatever, it works and stuff. So yeah, that's really all there is for this tutorial. Until next time, again, yeah, RPG Maker tutorial end.
When I started Suri, I was at rock bottom.
Alright, time for the most important part of creating an RPG with RPG Maker MV, which is the battles. Now, there are a ton of ways you can make a battle start within your game, but for this video today, we'll be doing it using random encounters. So to add random encounters to a specific map, simply go to the map right here, right click on it, hit edit, then we use a big white rectangle right here to set up our encounters. So let's just double click. Let's select one of the predefined troops within RPG Maker MV. We'll select the slime ×2. The weight, well, don't worry about it now, we'll just hit OK. And then we'll look at the encounter steps. Now this is the average amount of steps a player will take before getting an encounter. Now since we're going to be testing encounters, maybe we'll set it for something low like 30 or 15 so we can get a quick encounter really fast. But realistically, if you're creating a game, you probably want to set this something higher like 70 or maybe even 80 for a bigger or larger map that you don't expect to see multiple enemies on. For a map that a player is supposed to grind on, maybe we can set it down to like 40 or 50, but for main game, set it to 80 or 70 so you don't annoy the player to death. But once again, for this example, we'll be setting it to 30 so we can get a quick encounter of these slime ×2. Hit OK, and we are pretty much done. Now let's go into the game. Now once you get into the game, simply go to the map which has random encounters defined in it, and simply run around for a bit. And eventually, we will find a random encounter. So keep running around, we'll keep going. Oh, almost there. There it is. That white flash will symbolize that battle has started, and we'll get 2 slimes right there. Slime emerge. And alright, time for the most important part of creating an RPG with RPG Maker MB, which is the battles. Now, there are a ton of ways that you can make a battle start within your game, but for this video today, we'll be doing it using random encounters. So to add random encounters to a specific map, simply go to the map right here, right-click on it, hit Edit, then use a big white rectangle right here to set up our encounters. So let's just double-click. Let's select one of the predefined troops within RPG Maker MB. We'll select the slime ×2. The weight, well, don't worry about that for now. We'll just hit OK. And then we'll look at the encounter steps. Now, this is the average amount of steps a player will take before getting an encounter. Now, since we're going to be testing encounters, you may want to set it to something low, like 30 or 15, so we can get a quick encounter really fast. But realistically, if you're creating a game, you probably want to set this to something higher, like 70 or maybe even 80, for a bigger or larger map that you don't expect to see multiple enemies on. For a map that players supposed to grind on, maybe set it down to like 40 or 50, but for main game, set it to 80 or 70 so you don't annoy the player to death. But once again, this example, we set it to 30 so we can get a quick encounter of these slime ×2. Hit OK, and we are pretty much done. Now let's go into the game. Now once you get into the game, simply go to the map which has random encounters defined in it, and simply run around for a bit. And eventually, we will find a random encounter, so keep running around. We'll keep going. Oh, almost there. There it is. That white flash will symbolize a battle has started, and we'll get 2 slimes right there. Slime emerge. And so, if you may notice, maybe not because the window color is still really weird, we can select Fight or Escape, we can select Attack, Magic, Guard, Item, all these cool choices like an RPG would, and so let's attack Slime A. And there we have it, we attacked Slime A, the Slime B attacked us, Slime A attacked us, and so if we kept attacking, we would eventually, hopefully, defeat these 2 slimes, though it looks like we may lose if they keep attacking us like this. We also have magic, we can use some spells like Spark, and of course it'll attack the slimes, yeah! We also have the ability to use an item, which we shouldn't have right now. Yeah, and also we can guard, which should reduce damage by half. So, yay, now we get to slow our death even slower. And finally, we can also use the escape right here to escape from battle, which is not always guaranteed, as you can see right here. And now we're going to take some more damage from these crazy slimes. But if we escape again, hopefully we will escape like we just did. And that was perfect. Now, in order to mainly define all the characteristics of a battle, we're going to do so within the database, which once again is going to be these little gear things right here. We can click on them, and we'll be brought to all these crazy tabs once again. Now, the actors, those are the players. If you may notice, we have the side view battler right here. Now, this is for side view battles. What we just saw right now is a front view battle, which means we saw the enemies in the front of us, and we didn't see any of the players because we assume that we're looking at the perspective from the players. But a side view battle, we'd see both the side view players and the enemies on both sides of the screen. But we'll get into that later. For now, let's learn how we can customize our own troop to have its own enemies. So let's go to the Troops tab right here, and if you may notice, we have the 4 troops that we saw before, which are the Bat ×2, Slime ×2, Orc, and Minotaur. Now we can change the maximum and set it to a higher number, say 6, and now we can get more slots for these guys. So let's make a troop that has a bat, so we'll click on the bat and hit add. We can move him somewhere. We can click on the Orc, we can add him, we can move him somewhere on the screen. We can make a Minotaur also and add him right in the middle. The big, crazy troop of all 3 of these crazy enemies. Well, maybe the bat isn't that crazy. We got a Minotaur and an Orc. Finally, we can also auto-name it just by clicking that button, and it'll give us a list of all the enemies defined within this troop. So now if we go back into our map, we can create another encounter, or in fact we can edit the currently existing encounter to next we encounter our new troop right here, which is going to be Bat, Orc, and Minotaur. Now, before we do so, I'd like to point out the weight right here, which I mentioned before. Now the weight is not necessarily affect how often you encounter enemies, but it affects how often you'll get this specific troop out of all the other available troops listed. So for example, if we create another troop called Orc that you can run into, just an Orc by himself, these 2 have both a weight of 5, so you're going to encounter them just as often. But if you set this to something like 10, that means you'll encounter an Orc way more frequent than a Bat, Orc, Minotaur troop. And that's because the weight is higher, which means it's more frequent. Now, this is all relative, so that it means that if you have a weight of something low, like 3, this is pretty low, but if you have another encounter that has something like 2, as you see right here, then it's still going to be more frequent than this one right here. And these do not affect how often you encounter any troop at all, which is defined by the encounter steps. These just go and say like, hey, once you do encounter a troop, which troop is it going to be? Is it going to be this one, or is it going to be this one? And these weights define which one it's going to be. But enough of that, let's actually go encounter our Bat, Orc, Minotaur troop. And if we run around, we'll keep running, and hopefully we'll come across our amazingly beautiful combination of a bat, an orc, and whatever the last one was, because I forgot, because I don't care. And there we have it. A bat emerged, an orc emerged, and a minotaur emerged. And we're going to escape because we don't want to deal with this craziness. But anyway, there's pretty much tons and tons of aspects that I can use to manipulate how your battles go, including skills, items, weapons, armors, enemies, states, animations, and all that crazy stuff. And we'll get into all that stuff in later tutorials. But for now, let's set off this tutorial with one final lesson, which is how to actually use side view battle. Simply go into System, click this little thing here, it says Side View Battle, and we're done pretty much. Now, even though you did that, you're still going to have to move these guys so it looks good. Your player's going to appear on this right side of the screen, so you want to move all of your enemies to the left side of the screen like this. Make sure they're all visible by just trying to move them around, make them look good. There, there, there. And now, these guys will appear on the left as our players appear on the right. So, before we do that, let's also add some more players back into our party just so we can get a better seeing example of what we're doing right here, like that. But anyway, for one final time, let's go and try and encounter one of these crazy troops right here. So, there we have it. Our encounter has started, and if you notice right here, all of our players are now appearing on the right side of our screen, and all the enemies are appearing on the left side like we put them there. Now, as you can probably guess, the battle's going to be exactly the same, only now we're going to see our little actors moving around as we do stuff. Now, whether you use side view battle or front view battle is up to you. As you may guess, side view battle looks a lot more awesome and a lot more animation is going on, but at the same time, a front view battle can be just as stylistic in your own game. And it's up to you which one you choose. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a like if you want to see. I said that twice. Good job, me. Great. Anyway, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. RPG Maker Tutorial End. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to activate a battle and how to just make a troop and stuff and have enemies attack your players. But in this tutorial, we're going to be looking through one of the most important aspects of the battle, which is the stats of the player, the enemy, and the skills. So let's get straight into it. Let's once again go into our database, and we're going to go to the classes tab this time by going right here. Now, if you haven't been able to tell already, the classes are going to be like what's equipped to each actor that gives them their growth rate for all their stats, their experience rates, and a whole bunch of other traits, skills, and even weapons. And so, let's go through each stat and learn the functionality of each one. Most of them are self-explanatory though. Max HP, which is going to be of course the maximum amount of hit points you have. Max MP, which is of course going to be the maximum amount of mana points you have. Attack, which will be for offensive moves. Defense, which is going to be for defending attacking moves. Magic attack for magic attacking moves. Magic defense for defending against magic attack moves. Agility for whoever's going to go first. And luck for determining critical hits, evasion, and all that other crazy stuff. And so, that's the about like 8 stats we have. Now let's go into our actually terms right here, and here's where we can actually manipulate what the stats are called in your game. So right here we have level, HP, MP, TP, HP, MP, TP, maximum HP, maximum MP, attack, magic attack, you get the point. We even have hit and evasion, which are also going to be referred to as your hit rate and evasion rate, which we'll get into in a future video. But for now, I want to focus on all of these stats and how they interact with each other in the battle. So to start off, we have our actors, and these are the growth rates. So in here, you can set a growth rate for our hero class. So the maximum MP, if we hit like A, just make it so it grows faster, higher. If we hit E, that means it's going to be lower growth, which means at the highest level, it's still going to be pretty low. At the lowest level, it's going to be pretty low. We can generate a curve, and this makes so we can set so level 1 has something like 1. Level 99 has, say, a value of 6,000. And this is going to create a curve that starts at 1 and goes to 6,000. We can also make it so it has a faster growth or slower growth. So slow growth would be like this, which would mean like it'll take a while to get it building up. On the other hand, if we made a fast growth, it'd like start up getting really high, then over time it'd slowly stop building as much. And so it's up to you whichever type of thing you want to use for your classes. You have to customize it for each and every class. So for example, if you have a hero class, you might want to build up attack or defense or keep it all balanced. For a mage, you definitely want to have much higher magical attack because you want to have it so like this person's a mage, they have lots of magical attack. Priest, same thing, you might want magical attack, maybe a lot of luck right here, so because the priest is going to have tons of luck. And it's up to you how you manipulate your classes. Once you have all of your classes manipulated for the stats wise, you can go to the actors, you can go to the class little thing right here, click on it, and choose your class that we're going to start with. You can change your class for actors later, but you don't worry about that for now. Instead, let's just continue onward. Next, let's look at the enemies. Now, if you can remember, our troops are made out of all these enemies that we created. So let's try creating other enemies. Let's set the maximum to 5. let's go right here. Let's give it a name called enemy, because I have no idea what we're going to create. Let's go into the images by double clicking, and RPG Maker MV gives you a whole ton of different default images you can use. Let's select the mimic for now. We'll hit OK, and now we can manipulate the stats once again. And as you can tell, it's still going to be the same thing. Maximum HP, MP, attack, defense, magic defense, agility, and luck. And you can manipulate all these stats to make it so this enemy has these stats. And now, the way the game is going to work is that you're going to have your enemy stats, you're going to have your actor stats right here, and they're going to interact together using the skills. And now what the skills are going to do, they're going to do damage based off the stats of both the attacking actor or enemy against the other actor or enemy. So, what I want to focus on right now is the damage box right here. All this other stuff, it's pretty crazy, but for the time being, let's focus on the damage box. As you can see, it says A.attack times 4 minus B.defense times 2. So what's happening is, A is going to represent the attacker, and B is going to represent the person who's taking the attack. So if we have an actor attacking an enemy, this would be the actor's attack multiplied by 4 minus the defender's defense, which would be the enemy that's being attacked, times 2. And this will result in a number, and that number is what's going to be used for when the enemy is damaged by the attack. And so this is how the attack and defense and magic attack and magic defense all work. They're pretty much all customized through this little damage box right here. You can make whatever you like. Now on the other hand, HP, MP, speed, and luck, I mean agility and luck, those are all defined in the pretty much code of the entire game. So if you want to make them have some special function, that's going to take a little bit more work. But for the time being, just focus on the main 4 attacking and defending stats. So, as you can probably guess, this right here is the attack skill, which is what's going to be used by default when you use the attack command in the thing, as it says right here. Same thing applies to the guard, which is going to be a little different. We also have the dual attack, heal,